Okay, here we are, and we have a laspistol, or at least the beginnings of a laspistol. As you can see, it is more or less full scale. I've been working on it for a couple weeks now, kind of on and off. Actually, a couple months on and off, but I've actually been really working on it and getting it done in the last week or so. We actually have pieces that are being assembled right now. This piece back here, the rear of the magazine holder, is being glued on, and it'll get sanded flush everywhere once it's dry tomorrow. So that will be the last of the wooden pieces that will go on, at least until I decide exactly what I'm going to do for the trigger guard. I haven't figured that out quite yet, but we'll figure it out eventually. We have plastic tubing up here. This actually isn't the barrel itself, obviously. It would be far too short and small and piddly. So what I actually have, though, is a piece of plastic tubing that will slide inside of this plastic tubing, which is the whole barrel. This is actually, this piece here is longer than it ultimately needs to be. A truck going by, nice and loud, sorry about that. I'm in the garage door's open, so we have enough light to see. You know, you're gonna have to deal with people driving by. Oh well. But this is mostly done. I've got some cleanup work in here, a little bit of filing, a little bit of sanding, a little bit more filling of the stuff in here. It took a long time for the resin that's in here to cure, and, you know, we'll get that done here in the near future. I gotta put a little putty around here and sand it down and do all that, but that will, in the final version, these will both be brass tubing that nests, and this will be permanently mounted in there. It'll get molded into the mold, so it has, so it's perpendicular into the piece. That way I don't have to get a hold of a drill press again to do all the barrels drilled out and all that stuff. It'll be easy. This will hold it in place exactly where I need it, so it'll work real well for what I need. And I'll snip the ends and fold them out on the inside, so it'll be secure, it won't slide out. That's sort of a bad plan for that, or a good plan for that to not come out. It's bad when it does come out. And this will actually be cast around a brass tube for the barrel. We also have the handle. This is, I don't know, the 7th version of the handle that I've made. I kept either messing them up or making them too short, or they weren't comfortable to hold, or whatever, but this one will actually work. I haven't decided if I'm going to mount it on. I probably won't. I think it'll be easier to put on and blend in separately for that. I have a few detail pieces that need to get put onto it. Some of them aren't made yet. Some of them are actually parts of the piece that I used for the barrel. I bought more of them, and so that'll sort of match. It'll be a good motif throughout it. So these will be sort of little dials that are on the side here that you see on some of the laspistols. And on the other side there will actually be, it looks like an ejection port for shell casings, but it's a laspistol, so it's obviously not that. So I may turn it into some kind of like painted charge level remaining type thing. So that'll be what that little hole in the side of the gun is. But I haven't made the external pieces for that yet or anything. And there's a few other little pieces that will get added on, probably out of strip styrene and some other stuff. Just kind of generic scratch building tools. The other major piece that I need to finish manufacturing, or start manufacturing, will be the magazine, which will go in down here. I will probably use the pink foam again. It's just inch-thick pink extruded insulation foam. You can get it at just about any hardware store, even here in California. So, you know, that will go into there. It will probably not be removable, simply because that's a whole bunch of extra work and a whole other piece that I need to cast. And mold rubber is expensive, so I'm already going to be making 3, probably 4 molds actually, and maybe more than that. And if I can eliminate something, I would like to. you know, the magazine won't be removable, but hey, it'll look good, and it's not really, you know, it's just not like it really has to come off. So that's the plan. I've got a little bit more work to do on it, obviously, but I will also be trying to film the process of putting the molds together. So we're going to see if I can do something around that. I'm going to be talking with some guys here in Fresno, hopefully with the space to do so, and hopefully we can get them to record videos of it as well. So I can sort of show you guys how to do some mold making. That will be a fun process, and then laying up some of the copies of it and painting them up and all that fun stuff. Yeah. Let's tool-wise to make this. It's pretty straightforward, mostly just hand hobby tools. I did have to buy a fun new thing. This is a hot wire foam cutting table. It's a mini one made by Hot Wire Foam Factory. It's their Crafter's mini table. It was about $40, and I'm super happy with it. I'm actually kind of surprised at how nice it is for $40. It's done everything that I need it to do. Gives me nice straight cuts, nice and even. It's really been very well done. So there's that. Everything else was kind of just done with, mostly with hand tools. The exception is the wood cutting, and I needed it out of wood as opposed to, if I was just going to make this for me as like a display piece, probably just would have used foam core and cut it out by hand and gotten it all done that way, but that won't necessarily hold up to the rigors of pouring rubber onto it and pulling it all apart and everything. So I decided to use the wood, so I borrowed the use of a wood shop, you know, bandsaw. You could pretty much get away with just a bandsaw if you were very careful. I ended up using a whole bunch of stuff, and a drill press to drill the hole in the front of the wood there, but nothing hugely major. You know, you could sort of get away with a scroll saw or bandsaw, or to be honest, if you were very, very careful, you could probably do it all with hand tools, with, you know, coping saw and a hand saw and some other, you know, just generic hand tools. The power tools just make it faster and easier. And everything else is just, you know, wood glue and putting together, and sandpaper and flat sanding stuff and being real careful. So where I'm going forward with this is, I think, well, tomorrow, I'm waiting for this guy to dry, so tomorrow, that's what the rubber band's for, actually. Tomorrow we'll be flat sanding all of the pieces on this back plate here, and then waiting for everything to dry for that, getting it sanded down, and then I'm going to want to fill in this piece here, which is proof that I did not measure twice before I cut once. Actually, it was more that I forgot to include the thickness of this front piece when I was cutting that top piece. That's really what happened there. But it's easily fixed, and it's not a huge deal. It's a flat corner, so it's about as easy to fix as those things are, or those things come. So tomorrow and Wednesday, the rest of this week, we'll be starting on the magazine and fixing those pieces there. I will probably shave down the magazine. I'll make it out of foam as well, because it's nice and easy to make out of foam. Get that done, see where we go from there. You know, put it in, fill in all the pieces that need filling in, and yeah. So yeah, I will probably have another update later in the week, hopefully with this more done, and ideally a week or two after that I will start laying up molds. I will need to do it someplace that is not my garage, however, because it's dirty and nasty, and I just need better space for that, so I'll have to figure something out for that. But yeah, it should be good. See you guys later.